happen to have noticed that none of the presidential candidates in either party is using a stay the course kind of campaign slogan. Two new snapshots of the national mood give strong indications why that might be. In our third story tonight, after 7 years of the president, the nation is bushed. Number 3, hopeless gate. 3/4, 75% of those sampled in a new New York Times poll reporting that the country is on the wrong track, with fewer than 1 in 5, 19%, saying America is going in the right direction, the worst numbers of any president since the poll began in Reagan's first term. Still better, however, than the new Washington Post poll. It shows 79% of Americans, nearly 4 out of 5, want that new direction, just over 17% who want the same direction. Again, the worst numbers in a quarter century. If you were wondering, only one president in that time never had a majority of Americans calling for a new direction. That would have been Bill Clinton. And no surprise, with 62% of Americans saying that they think the economy today is getting worse, more than any time since the first Bush administration, and with calls for change on matters of national security coming even from some of Mr. Bush's top officials. Number 2 is Gitmo-gate. The nation's top uniformed military man, Joint Chiefs Chairman, Admiral Mike Mullen, told reporters this weekend he wants to see the U.S. prison camp at Guantanamo Bay shut down. Technically, Mr. Bush has said the same thing, but Mullen goes further, revealing that he is unaware of the administration actually pursuing any way to do that, and saying that Gitmo has been, quote, pretty damaging in how it reflects on the U.S. internationally. And then there is Mike McConnell, the nation's intelligence director, sticking by his refusal to weigh in on the legal definition of torture, but telling the latest issue of The New Yorker that, yes, indeed, waterboarding, pouring water into somebody's respiratory system, would in fact be torture if it was done to him. A claim the White House refused to comment on, not surprisingly, given the potential legal jeopardy involved in the waterboarding of 3 people in 2002, as approved by President Bush. And number 1, Iran-gate. The president, so out of sync with the new reality-based intelligence community, he is apparently now peddling his own intelligence overseas. Newsweek reporting that in last week's private meetings with Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert, President Bush disavowed the December National Intelligence Estimate, the NIE, that he praised publicly for reflecting much-needed intel reforms, which had concluded, of course, that Iran had ended its nuclear weapons program. According to an unnamed administration source, Mr. Bush told Olmert the NIE's conclusions don't reflect his own views. On what facts, if any, Mr. Bush based his own views, we do not know. Maybe they came to him in a dream.